So just to give you an idea,
Yeah.
like, you notice there's no paper in front of me,
Yeah.
right? So it's not like I've come...
Scripted.
And yeah, not at all. Not scripted at all. It's very good. Right?
Yeah, she's a pro.
Yeah, I see that, right? So
Troubleshooting.
it's just really a conversation. It's a hangout. And it's really all we do and all we want to do.
Okay.
You know, at the end of the day. So when I ask someone to come on the show, it's generally because, you know, if we've never met before. Like this is the
No.
first time we've met,
Yeah.
right? So it's like in a case like this, it's probably because I saw you on social media, and I got like excited about all the cool things that you were doing. Right?
Thanks.
So then I saw her put the picture up with you, and I was like, oh man, that would make such a cool show. You know what I mean? Because featuring like really talented and special kids on the show is something that we always try to do whenever we can, but you know, it's not something that I want to do. Just say, oh, we need to bring more kids on the show. You know what I mean? I don't never want it to be like that. I want it to be like, no, when it's really like warranted. You know what I mean? Like to like truly bring someone special on. That's really what I want to do, and that's what we did today.
Thank you.
And really, just seeing you on social media was inspiring to me. Not only because you're incredibly talented, but you just come off as like a really, really hard worker, and I totally respect that.
Thank you so
Right?
much.
And then all the great things that Victoria has had to say about you have been just, you know what I mean, off the charts. So it's like, so I floated it to her. I'm like, hey, what do you think that'd make a cool show? And she was all about it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's been on the show like 27 times.
I need to listen to those.
No, it's only once, twice maybe.
She's like 5 times.
But anyway, I guess to formally introduce you guys, we are on Welcome to Connected by Water, presented by Joey Cardi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and fueled by Papa's Pilar Rum, although there's no rum today because we're with someone that is not of age to drink rum. And I'm sure the Pilar family would completely understand this one. And we're here with Sofia Gamboa, right? Hi, right? And you are, wow, how do I serve this one up? The future of surfing would be one way to say it, right? I would say the next surfing phenom, right? And that also is a Florida proud scenario, you know, for us here. So
Always.
we always like that. All the talent that comes out of our state, and when it comes out of our state, especially for water sports and water-related activities, we always want to feature it and put a huge spotlight on it. As we all know, the greatest surfer to ever live is a Floridian, right? Kelly Slater, right? Yeah, absolutely. So you're following right in his footsteps, right? And that's the Stoke, right? So that's awesome. And, of course, no introduction needs to be made for Victoria Burgess, but we will. And also, I just want to say congratulations on your recent engagement.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yay.
Right? And to this guy over here on the other side of the bar. So
That guy.
that he's just going to sit off on the side. So Rory Kim is here with us today, right? And your mom is here today. So Kathy, thanks for joining us so much. And it's so exciting to see you guys again. You know, we miss you guys very
Fun to be
much.
back in
Ever since you
Pompano.
moved, yeah, you're back in the know, right?
Can I just say
heart.
thank you for inviting me to this? Because it's like so amazing. It's so much.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, you can absolutely say that. Thank you for saying that. That's wonderful. So just to give people a refresher on you real quick. So I'm going to give like the Cliff Notes version, right? Sure. Friend of the studio, obviously, right? Just friends in general. But you are an amazing woman, amazingly accomplished woman, and very reserved and humble, and that's the charm about you, and really incredibly intelligent, PhD, okay, retired firefighter, right?
Yeah, actually,
right, retired firefighter,
She does it all.
and entrepreneur now with your new company, right, and accomplished surfer, accomplished paddleboarder. And I always have to mention, I'm sorry, I have to mention the one that paddleboarder from Key West to Cuba.
Cuba to Key West.
Cuba to Key West.
That would have been
right?
hard going the other way.
Right. So, and we're incredibly proud. I'm proud to say that every time.
Thank you.
So I'm sorry if I say it like every time I introduce you to anybody, I always bring that up. So
She's got to be proud of it.
she should be, right?
Yeah.
Did she tell you that she couldn't feel her legs for like 3 months after that?
No, I want some description on that.
Yeah. So, you, Miss, I saw some of your videos on Instagram, and I was floored. Like floored. Like
Thank
really.
you.
Like you are really, really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I know, like, just like anything else, to become really, really good takes a lot of hard work and a lot of time and a lot of effort. So when did you get started on surfing?
Like competitively?
Just surfing in general.
Like when I was 4, you know, my dad, he pushed me in a couple waves on like Dania Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And I originally started from there, paddling in, having fun with my dad.
So you're from down this way?
Basically, yeah.
Oh, yeah, cool. So and then you guys moved up
Yeah,
that way. There's a lot more waves up there
true.
than there are down here, so that works out.
Oh, they
right?
still live down here. They're still living down here, actually.
You're still down here, so you guys are just going up coast all the time?
To train.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
So it's like from Coral Springs to Fort Pierce.
Wow. Yeah, very nice. So wait, you live in Springs?
Yeah.
You do not live in Coral Springs.
Yes, I do.
Get out of here.
That's what I was telling
Did I
you.
completely miss that earlier?
I told you. I was like,
Oh
you
my
live in
goodness! Look at the
Springs?
Coral Springs pride kicking there. Yeah,
know.
nice. That's awesome. So all right. So I can relate to that because growing up as a kid, I used to paddle or go up coast to paddle out up in like Sebastian and
Yeah.
all the north spots we would call them from down here. They're north spots, right? The North Jetty, and we were just talking about some of them, Walton Rocks and all the different places up there, in Jensen Beach, and so you're going up coast all the time then to surf for the most part.
Yeah, I'm always going up there to train. Anything that I can do to train.
I love that you call it training. That's great.
Right?
And you call it training because you got your eyes on the prize, right? You have big
course,
goals, right?
yeah.
So tell me what some of your goals are.
My goals are to land air versus win nationals and win Easterns.
Win nationals and win Easterns.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. But you just won something pretty big this weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, so not this weekend. I think it was a couple weekends ago.
Was it a couple weekends ago?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was the NSSA Regionals, and it was an exciting time for me. I qualified through my heats, and then this one final, I got it super rough. I don't think I connected all the dots, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I came out, and I was like, okay, I need a reset for this last one. And then I ended up pulling it out, and I ended up winning. I heard my name at the beginning. I was like, wait, what? Did this really
nice.
happen? Does
Nice.
this really happen?
So when you say connect all the dots, what do you mean? Like
I meant, like, I don't think I prepared enough. Not
Okay.
prepared enough, but, like, connected. I don't think I connected well, like,
Okay.
in my heat, as I should have.
Yeah. So you think that's like a psychological thing or
Mentality
or
more.
yeah.
Because I feel like I've had the training in there. It's just my mentality that needs to be prepared.
Yeah. Okay.
Was
And
it maybe not connecting the dots of like the wave conditions and things that you got that day?
Yeah, because maybe I'm thinking one thing, but it's the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, maybe I should go to this spot, but there's more waves coming to this.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's the interesting part about surfing, right?
Yeah.
Especially in Florida.
Yeah, for me,
Because
it's
it's
like,
all over the place sometimes. Right?
yeah,
That is true. And if the
It's
waves
not like
here
we have
sometimes-
that perfect little point break.
yeah.
Mhm.
You
And
just
you know it's
continuously.
going to break every single time in that spot.
And we wish.
When I was in the 8th grade, I had to write a paper, and I can't remember what the assignment was, but somehow I wrote on comparing Florida surfers to California surfers, and I was trying to. It was all like Kelly Slater driven, right?
Oh,
Like
no kidding.
kind of, right? So I was going to say that why you had to take a point. Take a topic and make a point, whether it was right or wrong, is like a moot argument.
Mm-hmm.
So I was saying why Florida surfers are better than surfers all over the world. No, it always said because they had to be so agile in catching surf in different conditions all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
That it really, like when you get into a scenario where the waves are always perfect, it's like a luxury
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
that people probably
That's
take
true.
it for granted.
I feel like Florida surfers, like, we're always surfing these, like, weird conditions, and then once we get those perfect waves, we can absolutely do something on it. Because in contests, we're always preparing for anything that throws at us. And Florida surfers are always looking for those, because even the little swells, we'll always go chase them.
Yeah, nice.
California,
Sure.
it's like you got this one spot, and it's always breaking there. It's always breaking nice, and you know the conditions there. In Florida, it's like throwing at you. Maybe it's mushy. Maybe it's looking like a washing machine one day.
Right.
You
Yep.
got to learn how to surf everything
Yeah.
here.
Completely.
It's true.
Completely.
California, if they saw it like that, they'd be like, nope.
No, I'm not going
Yeah.
out.
Sleep in
I'm passing
today.
it out.
It's a taco day.
Yeah, taco day.
And then it's like, oh, I got this clean section. Maybe I'll go out. Maybe I won't. Maybe. Yeah. Florida, they'll take advantage of every single wave they got.
Yeah,
Sure.
cool. So, I mean, have you only surfed in Florida? Have you been surfing in other spots?
So my dad took me to Peru, and my latest trip to Peru was I surfed San Bartolo, which is literally like a right and a left, and then you got like a rock that you can enter in that separates them, and it's the best place.
Yeah,
I
nice.
love it. I'm planning on going back, and I'm going to Costa Rica soon, which is going to be super fun.
Right
Where
on.
at?
Where?
Tamarindo?
Where?
Tamarindo? Somewhere near there? Or
Nah, Dominical
Oh, okay.
and Pavones.
is that on the East Coast or the West Coast?
Don't know specifically.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find
Yeah,
out.
we'll find out.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
I surfed in Costa Rica a couple years ago. I surfed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, near Jaco and Playa Herrera area, Playa Hermosa, stuff like that. But it wasn't really that big when I went there, which works well for me at this old age. So it's all right. I like
Yeah.
the little waves these days.
It's going to be my first time there, and it's so fun. And we
That's
also went
awesome.
to Puerto Rico a couple times with my friends.
Puerto Rico's got
or
some
one
good
time
surf.
with my
Yeah.
friends. Yeah.
Did you get to paddle out there?
Yeah, it was super fun.
Yeah,
we went
nice.
to Hobos. We focused on Hobos for a little, and it was super fun.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. So I would imagine you have goals to surf all over the world, huh?
Of course.
Yeah. What's
wanna-
probably one place you're probably really dying to get to?
Ooh, if I got the chance to, I'd try in Chopu.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
Wow.
That's some.
There's some big
Wow.
ones. Chopu or
That's a bold answer right
Yeah.
there.
Holy
or
moly.
Cloud Break. I want to be one of those girls.
Oh,
and then
that-
Yeah,
another one.
cloud break.
Another one, because I know like some girls surf it, but the box, I know some girls surf it, and it's a heavy break.
Yep.
But if I can get to that experience, I really want to try it.
Yeah, very cool.
Wow. I'll be on the boat when you're in Chopu.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
With the photographer.
Yeah, on the beach with a drone.
That's just one of the most beautiful waves, though.
Yeah, right?
It absolutely is. Like
Yeah.
I whenever I watch a surfing documentary or something, if it's about Chopu or something like that, I'm
Beautiful, right?
yeah. In fact, some of the guys that I follow on Instagram, they're always that's where they are,
Huh.
And there's just nothing like that wave.
I know.
Yeah.
Big heavy wave,
Just going down.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy, too, how
Yeah.
if you've ever seen, like, the ground, like, when they actually show you
Yes.
how it
Yeah.
all works and stuff,
It's
right?
like right there.
It's weird.
So
How
thick
that
and
happens.
steep. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a literally it's a freak of nature.
Yeah, you can look down and just, reef right there.
Yeah, and if you fall,
Yeah.
Yeah.
scary.
You better not.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you better not.
You better
not.
Exactly.
Yikes. You're
So
going to scare your mom over there.
so we miss you guys,
I know.
right?
We,
so
we miss you.
You guys have been gone for like a year and a half.
A year
something
and a half,
like that,
I think.
right?
Yeah.
And then, but you come back
Yeah.
every now and then, which is cool.
Kind of,
And
yeah.
we owe you a trip up there, and I know that. So, but you guys you've been busy, you
Yeah.
know, with your new deal. So you
Mhm.
want to
Yeah,
talk
it's
about
been,
that?
It's
Tell
been
me about
awesome.
that.
I mean, we moved up there in the start of all the Corona stuff, so that was
Mhm.
kind of an interesting break.
Right?
But it was awesome because we had swell the whole time up there, so we were like running as fast as we could to get in the water, past all the cops.
I was seeing you guys posted so many of those photos, and I was like just grinding my teeth. I'm like, oh my god, it's like you guys caught so many perfect days up
Yeah,
there.
it was like,
He's
okay,
like, you
I
couldn't
can
take
deal.
me with you.
But like as everything started kind of like getting a little back to normal, we kind of just got back in the routine of doing the water sport thing and just bringing the community together up there a little bit. You know,
Mhm.
it's not as, here it's populated down here, so there's a
Yeah.
lot going on. So we brought it up there a little. We did a race this year. It was probably the first race in the world since everything started, and definitely the first in the country. So we had like 150 paddlers
Oh,
from
wow.
all over the U.S. come because
Wow.
they were like jonesing so bad to race.
That's great.
So that was cool. And
So
then-
how was the race set up?
Yeah, so it's in Fort Pierce. So we have two. We have a 10K
Mhm.
that starts on the ocean side, goes through the inlet, and lands in the intercoastal side. And then we have a 5K that just stays in the intercoastal side.
Okay.
So it was pretty neat. They like it. It's beautiful up there. So
Yeah.
it's pretty to watch when you're paddling. if
That
you can.
that intercoastal is like really wide up there.
Yeah,
too.
they call it the Indian River,
Mhm.
but it's our intercoastal, but it's wide.
Yeah.
I don't know how wide. Maybe
Well, it's
like
not
a
like the
mile
I-95 intercoastal. That's
No.
that's your.
No. If you have a house in the intercoastal, you're good. You're not going to see your neighbor across, so you're
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been good. We're coming down June 19th to do the Sunshine Sup series here
Okay.
in Pompano that we've done for
Mhm.
like 10 years.
So you're still keeping that
So-
going and.
Because we are partners with Extreme Kayak Fishing
Oh, okay.
for that,
Yeah. Nice.
so might as well, right?
Yeah. with Joe and Maria.
Yep, Joe and Maria.
Yeah. Awesome.
So we got that June 19th here. We usually do 2, but this year we're only doing 1 as it gets back. You know,
Mhm.
everything gets back going. And then yeah, just that, and I've been teaching some, and I've been real busy with my company,
Mhm.
the nutrition and performance company. So,
Tell me about that
which
company.
is what we actually started working. This thing is like scooching, falling down.
Is it falling down? You just bend it a little.
I tried to bend it.
There you go.
Awkward
So-
positions.
Yeah, no, the tactical athlete nutrition and performance.
Okay.
So I developed an app during the pandemic.
Mhm.
Distinction.
And yeah, and then I've just been training people. Actually, it's funny because, before I was working with a lot of athletes,
Mhm.
and then like after the pandemic, now it's like a lot of athletes and a lot of people who have like gained the COVID-19, and so it's cool. It's all starting to come back. I've been training a lot of paddlers, surfers.
Yeah.
Like Sofia.
Nice.
Um,
So she's training you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how we kind of linked up.
All right. So how does that go?
How does okay?
Well,
so,
she obviously didn't
yeah.
gain the COVID-19,
no.
so you got to
She
put her
did
on like
not.
a different regimen, right?
So I always wanted, obviously I'm a female
Mhm.
athlete, and I'm really big into female athletes, obviously, here in Florida. And I grew up here, as you know, and I got a lot of support from the community through everything I've always done, and I couldn't do anything without all the support I've ever received. So like I always made it a point to wanna give back, like to a female athlete or multiple or whatever. So I had been seeing her because one of her surf coaches is a friend of mine, and I was like watching her for like a couple of years, and I'm like, she looks pretty driven.
Mhm.
Like this is interesting, but she's young, so you kind of have to wait until you get to a certain point. And then I reached out to them, and I was like, hey, what do you think about working with me?
Mhm.
So
I was like,
this-
I'm down.
Yeah.
So I'm training
No
her.
worries, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I train her alongside her surf coaches. I do her land performance training
Mhm.
and some nutrition stuff. So it's been good. We're in off season now. We just got to off season.
So
Okay.
So it's a lot more grinding. We started at the end of this last season, so we kind of like had to ease into it some because we didn't want her to get tired.
yeah, it was like
But
2 workouts a week.
yeah,
right?
so now so in the app, I can program her workouts based on whatever I want her to do.
Okay.
And there's like videos that show the description if you don't know how to do it. And there's written things if you want to read it, not watch the video. And so, these days everybody's used to doing virtual everything.
Mhm.
So it worked for the pandemic. So I'm like, well, we can do this if you want. So it's awesome because she trains in the gym and sends me videos. And I
really?
try to correct her form on the
Yeah.
video. And
And it really helps
Perfect.
with the
Yeah.
correction. It's like a no pain, no gain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So so that's beneficial for you, like to do it that
Yeah,
way. Right?
it's like this long distance thing. You can do it from anywhere because, I live in Coral Springs and she's in
Mhm.
Fort Pierce, so that
Mhm.
app really helps. And then let's say I'm not doing something right, she'll demonstrate it to me, and then I'll do it, and then it'll help with my workouts better.
That's great. So what's the
yeah,
name of
it's
the app?
pretty. It's through my company. I mean, it's a performance training app.
Like
but then
like how do people find it? Like
through my company.
through your company?
Like and
Okay.
I send them the link.
Oh,
And
okay.
then-
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's like a basic training, and then you develop it off their thing for what you want.
Okay.
So you're basically creating your own app, I guess, for what you need.
So it's full customization.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I do all my nutrition, all my performance through there, basically. So
Very nice.
yeah.
It's funny.
Mhm.
Like a lot of times we'll talk about, trying to look at the positive aspects of what the pandemic did,
Mhm.
because there's some things that the way society and people adapted to make things like, for example, curbside pickup.
Right.
Right. I don't see that
Yeah,
going away at this point
No.
ever, because now people are just so used to it
Spoiled.
that they're like, oh, wait, yeah. No, what do you mean? Like you're getting rid of curbside
I don't
pickup? I
feel
really
it.
like that. You know what I mean? So
True.
some people
That is
are into
true.
it now.
Yeah.
So like necessity is the mother of all invention,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's some things I think that are just going to stay
Yeah.
that developed because of this, and and that goes along with like unique
Yeah.
ideas, coming up like that, and
Yeah.
it really, anytime like the world's an expanding place,
Mhm.
like as far as people go, but anytime you can kind of
Right.
shrink it a
Yeah.
little bit, is kind of cool. So
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I've gotten clients from like all over the world. I worked with some people in Fiji and stuff.
Oh, really?
Oh,
and
wow.
because you can do it, like if you don't mind not having someone in front of you, like
Mhm.
correcting your hands and stuff, but it opens you up to a whole nother level of trainers or whatever you're looking for that you might not have locally.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and it's almost like now even with like FaceTime and stuff, you could just FaceTime
Mhm.
if you wanted to be live. So it's still not the same as being there touching, but most people don't even have time for that anyways. And everybody's
true.
gotten so used to how we do things, so.
Yep.
I mean, we like she's coming up a couple times a week to Fort Pierce, so we're in the off season. We'll meet up a couple times. I'll run her through some workouts, make sure everything's going good.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like coordination with her surf coach to make sure we're really hitting like the muscle groups that we need for her to be more explosive.
Like
But
the assets of the technical sides?
yeah,
Okay.
so that way we're working together. I can see it physically. Maybe we adjust some like minute things, but then she can bring that home and record herself. And like I've like moved her legs, and she already felt it and things. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just a different way of doing things that it's pretty neat. Actually.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Muscle memory
So,
stuff, and it's
yeah.
really fun.
I love the fact that, especially at your age, you're discussing it in this way, or you're approaching the sport in this way. Because I think that's really, really cool. Because when I was your age, like that wasn't even
I
like
know.
nearly a thought in my head about working certain
So
muscle
true.
groups and like staying focused and everything like
Yeah,
that.
just
And
go surf and you do it.
that was it. We would
Put it
just go
together.
surf and fall on my face and like call it a day and like be glad
I
of
know,
I'm
like,
not saying I still don't do that.
yeah. But no,
Like,
that's
weights, what is that?
yeah, right.
Never
Like
heard
a
of those.
bodybuilder?
What?
But no, she's super driven. I mean, it's really cool to see. You should be proud.
Thank
It's
you.
awesome.
So, I mean, what kind of challenges do you feel that you face when, like, you surf competitively, right?
Yes.
And you're a very advanced surfer, right? But do you feel like you ever running into any snags with, like, what your goals are and what you're not achieving yet? I mean, how hard are you on yourself when it comes to things like that?
You can ask my dad about this, and he's always talking to me. He's like, you got to stop being so hard on yourself. Stop putting so much pressure. And I'm like, I can't advance if I don't put that pressure on myself. I have certain expectations of myself in my surfing.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's my mentality side more of, because I put a lot of hard work in my training. And it's just my mentality that sort of is there. It's like, is this what you're doing? Are you doing this right? Are you sure you're doing it right? It's like double checking myself. And yeah, it's more my mentality side.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel like you might be competing with yourself or what the best version of what you could be versus
Yeah.
other people sometimes.
Yeah, because sometimes I'll be like, I've done this before, but I can do so much better than I am right now. I'm very hard on myself, if you know that.
I think really, and I get this with painting too, like a similar mentality, is that I found over time, like, the best way to improve is to truly just compete against yourself. And because you're going to see other people out there, and if you're starting to compare yourself to other people, then you're failing. Because you're trying to live up to something else and not something that's within. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I always find that if, like for me with painting, I always try to make the next painting better than the last, whatever that means. You know
That's
what I
sort of
mean?
me with my sessions. It's
Right?
like, I want to have good, excellent, amazing.
Mhm.
I want to build it up, not break it down.
Mm-hmm.
When did you really first start realizing that this was something that you wanted to take serious?
I'd say like 2 years ago, I started going really hard. I'm like, wow, I can do this. I made it to Easterns. I made it to my finals my first time.
Mm-hmm.
I can keep going. I can keep doing more things that I can do with the surfing.
How old were you when you first competed?
When I first competed, I think I was like six polywogs.
Aw.
6 years old?
Yeah, so obviously then it was like a fun time. You're pushing myself.
Was it like the first person that stands up wins?
Yeah. Yeah, my dad, he always pushed me into these big bombs. That's why right now I don't really have that fear of big waves.
Yeah.
So I got like a big bomb little Grom award, and it was hilarious.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he'd push me into anything, and I just come up laughing. It was the best time.
Yeah, that's good.
That's
That's
cool.
good. That's the best way to do it, really.
Yeah.
That
He didn't
is.
force it on me. It was something that I actually truly loved naturally. I got this little photo of me when I was 4 riding on this longboard, just me standing up. I was
Aw.
so proud of myself. It was like my first wave.
Yeah?
That's
First
awesome.
wave. Then he was like showing me competitive surfing. We'd make bets on who'd win.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, I want to get into this. So I started doing some of the events, and it was super fun. And he started building up my confidence like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where was your first event? Do you remember where that was?
My first event was a little contest called Gnarly Charlie.
Okay.
Gnarly Charlie and ESA were my first little ones when I was a little polywog.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love that.
I like that word.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
polywog. And yeah, that started my competitiveness bright and early.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I basically started competing. And then I'd say a couple years later, I started doing paddling because I know I can't win an event just going in a paddle in an event. That's why they don't got it at regionals, do they?
Mm-hmm.
They don't got polywogs. So then I started taking it seriously. I'm like, I'm paddling, and then I'm competing against some girls from Central Florida. Then I'm taking it serious. I'm like, okay, now I gotta have goals. Who am I gonna beat this time? What can I do better in my heats? And how can I catch better waves? How can I do better on the waves? Because for me, it's that, again, mentality side in the heats that are sort of messing with me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who are you watching for inspiration on all this?
Carissa Moore,
Yeah?
honestly. Carissa and Stephanie, they're my favorites. Carissa has that happy go-to mentality when she's in heats,
Mm-hmm.
and she's obviously a ripper. And then Stephanie has that, like, modern / classic style. It's so smooth. I love it.
Yeah. You must have been excited when you won your first tournament, right?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
was that?
Oh, it was fun. I was a little polywog, and I'm like, finally, I got it. I got it.
Yeah.
Be proud of me.
Aw.
Yeah?
And then, again, I made a bet with my dad. I'm always making bets with him. And then he's like, okay, if you pull a 12 o'clock frontside turn in your heat,
Mm-hmm.
I'll get you a phone.
Oh.
Long story
Oh,
short, I
really?
got the phone.
Wow.
Yeah. Nice.
That's
Very
pretty
cool.
good.
That's a pretty good motivator
I
right
used to
there.
get goldfish and stuff.
Yeah.
Gold
A
gold.
phone.
I'll buy you a fish.
I tell you what, though, I mean,
Yay!
that phone's going to pay off one day. Definitely.
Right?
Yeah, I'm always
Yep.
making bets with him. Ever
I think
since.
your dad
Perfect.
knows something, right?
Yeah, he's always pushing me, and he always can tell, like, my mentality, where it's at, how I'm going to do in my heats. Because I'm always asking these little questions. I'm like, am I doing good right now? And he's like, you're really asking that?
Mm-hmm.
That's mentality playing with me.
Yeah, nice. Well, it's good you
Well,
want to keep having fun with it,
yeah.
right? I mean, that's so important.
I want to have
Yeah.
fun and also be hard on myself because I can improve like that. If I'm always, like, relaxed on my surfing, I'm like, I did bad then. It was like, skip it. It's like, nah, those little sessions count. I want to keep building up my score, keep building up
Yeah.
my performance.
And I think, as you go along, you get more confidence, too. Like,
Yeah,
that
building
you can trust yourself during the competition that all your hard work paid off. And, sometimes it's good to be hard, but sometimes it's, like, out of your control almost.
That's what I'm working on, that confidence
So-
build.
Yeah. So sometimes you just have to be like, what, maybe I did everything I could.
Mm-hmm.
When I was training for that paddle, I had to train everything I could, right?
Yeah.
Because I can only control me. But there was a chance where the weather might have been bad
Mhm.
or something weird might have happened when I was out there. And now everybody's looking at me and all this stuff and all these sponsors and all my family and friends and supporters, and I did everything I could and and I was worried that something out of my control was going to happen, and then I couldn't finish, right? But then I just realized that, you know what? I did everything I could. And I knew I was prepared, just like you with your surfing.
Mhm.
So if something out of your control happens, you can't be hard on yourself, because you trust yourself, you did everything you could. And it just pushes you to go farther, you know.
I feel like I still am hard on myself.
But that's okay. I mean, you have to be hard on yourself too to grow. So.
On those little conditions, like let's say it's out of my control or the weather's getting bad or something like that's happening, I feel like I still could have done something, you know.
Yeah.
Weather's bad, but again, Florida surfers have to make the best out of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know, that's, I mean, it's cool you have that mentality, but she's right. You know, some, you know, listen, as much as you think you can win them all, you can't win them all.
Well, you know what, though?
I know.
It's actually good to lose sometimes.
Yeah,
for sure.
You honestly, like, you're looking at the WCT surfers, you lose more than you win.
There's only one winner.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to respect your competitors, too.
I do.
Because if you want them to respect you back, right, and that's how that works.
Yeah.
Like, all right, my daughter's 10 years old, okay, and she plays basketball in Coral Springs in the league. And so, and her team's really good. And I remember there was this one game in particular that they were so mad that all of them were so mad that they lost that game. And they're, man, because it was a very close game. And whenever you lose a close game, you always think that, no, there was that one more thing that they could have done.
That could have been hard.
Yeah, right. So and I'm the coach, and with my buddy Coach Ryan, his daughter's on the team too. And we sat them down and said, listen, guys, sometimes you just need to give the other team credit. The other team shot lights out. They barely missed a basket, right? And you can't do anything against that.
It's not like
you know. Sometimes they just had the game of their life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Different perspectives.
Yeah, and that team that we played never shot like that again for the rest of the season, right? So, but they did it against us, and that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and then you just got to be like, you know, you guys played your hearts out, and you did everything you could.
Yeah.
And they just didn't miss any shots, like literally. Yeah. I think they missed like 2, like the whole game. It was crazy.
I can bet that they won that next one.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like my girls played a great game. They really did. They played well enough to win. Sometimes you play well enough to win. Sometimes you surf well enough to win. Sometimes you catch fish like big enough to win.
But somebody else caught bigger fish.
Yeah, some kid like had that bait out. You know, I remember one year in one of Jamie's tournaments, like someone caught that huge wahoo like right out front off a dead ballyhoo, like at like 3:30, and there was like all these guys that like worked hard, like caught all these fish all day long, but it was like one kid off the bow that had a dead ballyhoo was just sitting there, and it's like this huge wahoo just came and ate it, and he won like it was like something like 70. What's that? Was it? Yeah.
The irony on that.
Yeah, so it was his day. That's it.
That's
you
true.
know?
Yeah.
You know, one thing that you said about comparing, you know, Florida waves to like California waves. The only time I've been to California was Ocean Beach, you know, near San Diego, Sunset Cliffs, and my job was to, you know, film those guys with a drone. And it was my first time to see like a real break, you know what I mean, that was consistent and was always, you know, I mean, compared to here. But it was also, it was when I was working in a job where you had to figure things out, and you had to deal with what you were given, and it wasn't served up to you. And you were going to be a more professional, more well-rounded professional, I should say, you know, chasing after and looking for the right conditions and making the most out of the right conditions versus, you know, like what we talked about. I'm not putting anything against, you know, waves out west, but I am saying it is a different mentality that drives you, and your brain has to work differently to make the most out of the situation. And that will prepare you to be more independent, more confident. Oh, I've seen this before. You know, this isn't ideal, but I know how to figure that out and capitalize on it. And that's really one thing that, you know, I don't surf, but boy, I could tell you that just makes the most sense professionally.
Yeah, and there's different cultures out there, out here and there too. So, and speaking of different cultures, I mean, like now you're up there. You know what I mean? You can, and you are from here. You know, the culture, like a little bit north of here, is different from the way it views surfing. Than it is down here.
Yeah.
Take me through that a little bit.
Well, you know, people surf more up there.
Yeah.
It's only an hour and a half up the road, but I don't even think you have to go that far. I think maybe like Jupiter or something is where it kind of starts. Yeah. Where people are in the water more surfing, and that surf culture is more up there.
Mm-hmm.
Down here, you know, people surf, but they're kind of lost in the crowd of all these massive people that we have doing
Right.
everything, right?
Very
I think we might
populated
have talked
beaches
about it
and-
before,
Yeah.
like Pompano in Florida, South Florida is like it's a water town, but it's more like a fishing community.
Mhm.
Or that's how I view it, right?
It is.
So-
yeah.
And plus, we don't have waves down here.
Right. It's not
So-
consistent.
Yeah, like we have
Yeah.
waves up in Fort Pierce every day, even if it's like ankle high.
Mhm.
It's always
So,
punchy
Yeah,
there.
there's always something, you know. So
Yep.
I mean, it's not like back in the day. It was a little more mean, I
Mhm.
guess. But now everybody's friendly at the breaks. I mean, I haven't experienced any kind of like crazy, you know,
That's good.
localism or anything.
I
but-
remember. You're right though.
Yeah.
Back then, I always remember like, oh, don't go. I'm not going to name any
Yeah.
places or name any names
I mean, you
right
know
now.
what,
But like,
there
they're like,
are
oh
some
yeah,
people-
those locals are mean, or those locals are rough. It's like,
There are
don't
some
go there.
people you don't want to get on their bad side, or you're not going to catch any waves. But they're not going to like go key in your car or anything.
No.
Yeah.
I've heard some crazy stuff out west and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Southern California. You
Yeah.
know, fights.
Seen a lot of those.
Yeah.
Seen them in the movie too.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it Momentum Generation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is it?
I don't know.
Was it
Momentum.
Momentum?
I
Yeah,
don't
the
know.
Quicksilver film.
There you
yeah,
go. Yeah,
yep.
that film. And I was watching a couple of the fight scenes on the beach, and it was like them getting cut off,
Yeah.
and they'd easily beat you up. They'd
Yeah.
easily
Oh,
beat you up, break your board.
Yeah.
It was
Aw.
crazy.
The films I've seen and the docs I've seen,
Yeah.
that was just what was always happening in especially 80s, 90s SoCal.
Yeah, you got a bunch of those like heavy locals over there.
Yeah.
You respect them. You're on their good side. You're good in the lineup, but if you're on their bad side, you better wish you're not alive on then.
It's
Yeah.
true.
The Momentum is such an important film, I think, too,
Yeah.
because
I
it
don't know
really
if I've seen it.
it really kind
really
of
good.
explains the whole the
Have to watch
genesis
it.
of Kelly Slater and Robin Chado and like all those guys and how
Yeah.
they made it to Hawaii and how they all stayed at the same house
It
and
was
everything
crazy,
like that
right?
and how they all lived together. Like that whole cluster of kids, like they really did. And, like
Everything.
Kalani Robb, like when they were saying like he ended up like for like 6 months had to take like some desk job for a while and they were like they literally had to go to his job and like yank him out of there. Like, what are you doing here? Like, you belong on the beach. Yeah, it was like this weird thing for him.
I
And
think I've seen it.
yeah,
You
and
should.
then
It's
there was
amazing.
it
Watch it
goes through a
tonight.
little bit of the Sonny Garcia battle with Kelly Slater and
Okay.
like, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then the Andy Irons too.
Yeah, right. Yep. And no, it's really, really interesting film. No, I used to be addicted to surf films when I used to work at BC Surf and Sport. So I used to like get all the films there, and yeah,
Just
and
watch 'em.
yeah, yeah. So you just won an award, didn't you? Was it like something of the year?
Best female athlete of the year.
Best female athlete of the year. I wanted you to say
Just
the official
just
title.
a little award. Yeah.
All right, so take me through this. So this is the ESA award.
Yeah, so in ESA Palm Beach, it was sort of a surprise because I didn't understand that they were going to do that. Never heard it that they've done those kind of awards before because they usually have those seasonal events, like the seasonal awards that you win for your divisions. And then they sprung these two new ones on. It was Best Female Athlete of the Year and then Most Improved Athlete of the Year. And then I got Best Female Athlete of the Year. I was like, wow, this
awesome.
happened?
So did I even tell the crowd
That's
how
way
old you
cool.
are? I don't even think I did.
I don't think so. No,
I don't think I did.
I think you need to though.
Maybe I
Yeah.
didn't give. How old? What's your age?
I'm 12.
You're
I just
12
turned
years
12.
old. 12 years old, and you won ESA's Female Athlete of the Year. And she was telling me before you guys showed up too that you're surfing in divisions above your age too, aren't you?
Yeah, so I just graduated from under 12.
Okay.
And then I'm doing under 14 and under 16.
And under 16.
And then I'm thinking about doing the open women's.
You're thinking about it? Yeah. What's holding you
I'm
back?
doing it.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't think, just do.
Or another open with competing against the guys. My friend Ian challenged me to it. He's like, you should sign up to the opens, so we can compete. I'm like, you want to see it? I'll do it.
Nice. I like
Got
it.
that competitive side again.
Yeah.
going on.
Right.
I'm always competing with my friends. I'm like,
That's good.
he's doing that? I can do it too.
You know,
Yeah,
so, a lot of times that's like, who you associate with,
Yeah.
right? And you have like-minded individuals, they
Yeah.
call it, you know what I mean? And
Exactly.
you guys can feed off each other's energy, and that's such a positive thing.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
And that's a really
Pushing each other to get better and better and
Yep.
better.
I always say that, like, you're not there yet, but when you get around that age of like 15, 16, 17. It's a very developmental kind of time in your life, just before adulthood and all that. Like, being associated with the right people is so important, because like bad influences could really like bring you down,
mess you up in
Yeah.
life, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
Even those little decisions of friends can really change your life.
Yep. Just surround yourself
True.
with good people. Right? They don't all have to be surfers. Just good people that are willing and ready to support you.
Why can't they be surfers?
No, I'm saying they because you got to people are people, right? You know,
I
not
know,
everyone
I know.
You
surfs.
need
You
some
know.
cheerleaders on the beach.
Yeah, exactly. You need
You need
someone to take
put you in
pictures.
the chair.
I saw my friend, she was cheering on for her friend with like these seaweed pom-poms.
Yeah. Seaweed pom poms.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's outstanding. So, so now you're surfing competitively, right?
Yeah.
I'm going back a couple of years now,
Okay.
right? So we're still trying to tell the lineage of all this, right?
Introduction.
You're surfing competitively. You're starting to recognize that, hey, there might be something to this, right? And you're starting to like get opinionated, and like you start to like you go, okay, you form your own mind about this sport, right? And so people start taking notice of this, right?
Yeah.
So tell me some of the recognition that you received. Like you got some sponsors going, right? You got some of the companies recognizing you. Who are those people in your life?
Those people in my life are now, which one of my biggest accomplishments, like fulfilled my dream, was Roxy, honestly.
Yeah.
And then I got my local shop, my fam, love them, Island Water Sports.
Yeah.
And then I have Viking Surfboards
Very
that sponsor me. And then Show Your Fins, fun sponsors. They're apparel, actually, too.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Hammer Traction with track pads.
Oh, very cool.
Cool.
It's a pretty nice lineup. Yeah, very nice. I saw you when I said BC Surf and Sport. You're like, well, it's all good. We love them all.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying, because they're sort of like Island Water Sports and BC Surf and Sports. They're sort of like families, I'd say, because I'm always supporting my friends on their team, and they're always supporting us, and it's a really good vibe over there.
Yeah,
That's
very cool. Yeah, the spots, I mean, I grew up surfing right here, 2nd Street, and
Yeah.
Silver Thatch, 5th Street, and then, you know, if we were lucky enough to get over to Ned's and everything like that, that was cool. You know, and then, Trespass and, you know, Deerfield Pier
That's
and
my
stuff like
favorite.
that. Yeah, for sure. The Trespass was always my
Trespass.
spot. That was
Yeah.
always my first choice. Yeah, definitely.
When the inlet was good, like since the sand kind of ruined it because they got that like little sand pillar that throws sand, they used to be the spot when I was a little Grom.
Yeah.
Not saying that I'm
Hillsborough Inlet?
No,
Oh.
the Boca Inlet.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I used to go there when I was little, and it was the best break when they had the nice sandbar. Now it's kind of messed up, honestly. I don't go there anymore.
Yeah. So, tell me more about your future plans.
My future plans are honestly, again, win a national title, and I honestly want to make it to the CT. Make
Nice.
it through all those WCTs, maybe representing U.S., depending on what country I pick, because of my origins from my family, my mom and my dad. And, yeah, I really want to be a competitive surfer. Stay maybe longer than the GOAT, but
Yeah, very cool. So this is definitely something you want to do professionally.
honestly, I've never looked at it. Never, without a doubt, I've never thought of doing something else besides being a pro surfer.
You know, and it's so great too because
You weren't kidding.
so
Right?
few people can name their passion or find it that early in life. A lot of people have to wait to find that passion, and that I think that kind of goes back to what Dennis was saying too. It's like who you surround yourself now through, especially the next 10 years, is going to really help you or hurt you. So and be recognize the gift you've been given. And make the most of the training you've got.
I will.
Yeah, and then I think it's just going to help you realize and get to where you want to go quicker, and then even doors that will open that you have you couldn't even imagine at the point right now. It's
Yeah,
all
that's-
it's
Yeah,
all how
and
you
that-
capitalize on it.
That's like one reason why I was like, you know what, she's 11, and this is like a great time because
Yeah,
and it's not just surfing athletes, it's other athletes too, and I work with a lot of younger athletes. From this age of like 11 or 12 to like 16, it's like a gap of like, I'm doing my sport and I'm practicing my sport, but that's all I'm doing. And then you have like the elite, the top, that are very few at that age that are doing what the people from 16 and up or 18 and up are doing, which is what we're trying to do now with her, is like the land training.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most people who are like 10, 11, whatever, they're surfing. But there's some maybe kids, maybe in Hawaii or maybe in, California, maybe, that are doing like actual training programming to develop them to be competitive enough so when they're 16 or whatever, they're already ahead of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And now these 16-year-olds are starting that.
Yeah.
So we already have them so that way she knows the movements. Maybe she's lifting more or going faster on the, runs or whatever, but you're not teaching her at 16 like how to do X, Y, and Z because you want to be more explosive. We're working now on that now.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives her like that advantage, which is awesome, because like how many of your friends surfers are they doing that like at your age? Probably not too many, right?
Nah.
Maybe they're at the gym by themselves or doing push-ups or...
But not assigned specifically what they need.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, I don't know. And I've definitely seen in the younger athletes I've trained a huge improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially like with this one runner girl that I work with, I was like, wow. That's when it made me realize, like, at that age, how it can change their ability because they're not getting it elsewhere.
Right.
So you don't see it a lot, and then you all of a sudden you implement like these programmings and you're like, wow.
Yeah, right.
Okay. That's different,
And
I think it's cool too. Like you need like a receptor to that. You need someone that has your focus, your drive, and your willingness and your want and your desire to make it happen too. Because she can do it as much as she wants and put you into a program, but the program alone isn't going to do it.
Right.
You need someone to accept that and
drive.
And do it. Yeah, absolutely.
And she's been doing that. She's like
100%. I mean, the only
good job.
Thank you.
like I guess when I think about like another like young surfer maybe on that level doing it that hard, maybe like a Jackson Dorian.
I don't even think
But
Jackson does.
Does he train like that? I mean, or maybe he's just like so influenced by his dad so much. But
I don't know. I think he just surfs all the time.
Just
Jackson Dorian? Yeah.
He just surfs all the time, yeah. Yeah.
But there comes a point at the age of around 15, 16 where they do start doing that.
Yeah.
Because they have to.
Mm-hmm.
They need that strength and they need to be that level up.
Now it's that early start off, right?
Yeah. Like you'll see, people like Carolyn Marks, I think she posts some of her trainings, right?
Yeah.
Or you'll start seeing them at that age start like posting more of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That they're in the gym, they're training with trainers, they're doing all this explosive work.
And then the video of them doing explosive turns.
Yeah, exactly. So, they have to.
Yep.
They have to, like at a certain point, because you can't just surf. And, maybe Kelly Slater can, but he still works out. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
so
hard.
he might not post it. He's not going to share his secrets.
Right.
I remember the tour talking about how, like, McFadden, he started to carry around weights with him in the CT. Like, he started doing all this training, hard work. And then people weren't doing it when he was. Now it's the switch off, sort of. And now people are all training, and he's doing the same thing. But now people are always getting into that consistent workout. It's like, what muscles can help me do explosive turns, do these kind of carves. It's like always thinking about all the options that you can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
First time I noticed that, I was getting into triathlons, and for some reason I saw a documentary on Laird Hamilton, and the whole thing was almost all training weightlifting. It was amazing.
Yeah,
some of the weight.
Yeah.
It
I
was
love
just
watching that.
how strong the guy is, and that's why it looks so effortless when he'll go do something,
And every sport is different, right? How you train. So you have to be careful. Like you don't want to do certain movements for certain sports. We don't want to load her too heavy. We don't want to get her too stiff. We don't want to develop certain muscles too much because we want her to be fluid and we want her to have flexibility and we want her to have reach. But you need to develop the other muscles so that way they can, when she reaches, they can pull. And, so it's like, it's different, so you don't want to just be like, go out there and do all this weight squats and do all this. No. Like, it's very specific to every sport. And every sport's different like that.
That's a really good point. Like, Michael Phelps isn't going to train the same way as, like, a football player.
That's an interesting point. We were listening to that in a different podcast.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, Line Up by Dave Prodan.
Nice.
And they're talking about how a basketball player isn't going to train the same way as a baseball player. Talking about how I think it was Michael Jordan? and how he tried baseball for a little and he had to train.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You got to train
Forgot about
differently.
that.
Yeah,
Yep.
I got the good guy. I got the right guy. And he switched off to baseball, and then he was trying these. He had to do these different workouts, but he had to adjust to a baseball player. And then when he switched back, again, he had to change the workouts. But it's a different body for every single sport.
Yeah.
It's really interesting too now, just how the landscape of sports has changed over the years, even just the last 10 years. Because if you look at a guy like Tiger Woods, completely changed the sport of golf, because nobody really worked out for golf
No.
before
True.
Tiger Woods, right?
like,
But you
it's
see,
just your
then all of a
arms
sudden you
just
see this guy that's in perfect shape, walking down the course, killing everybody, right? And then you got John Daly. You don't know who that is, but
I was
he's
just about
like
to
an
say, John
overweight
Daly.
guy, and he's like literally smoking cigarettes on the course during a professional tournament.
But
It's
he's still
really?
driving at 300.
Yeah, but he's still driving at 350 yards. But
Way into
eventually, guys like that would fall off because
Yeah.
everyone started. So then now you see guys that are in better shape. The Ricky Fowlers, the Jordan Spieths, and then the Dustin Johnsons, who are just. Now you look at these guys, and
Fit.
they're all fit athletes playing golf, and they're
Like they
driving the
realized
ball
to get to the
further
gym.
than they ever have. Yeah, they're driving the ball further than they ever have, and just more focused of a situation.
But
Yeah.
they don't have the mullet John Daly had, though. That
They
was an
don't.
incredible
They don't.
mullet.
They don't.
Bring it
Yeah.
back.
I know.
Yeah.
It was. It was
So if
pretty
you,
good.
you,
Good
if you can get
bag.
the best of both worlds, there, you'd be the ideal golfer. So, speaking of other sports, you like skateboarding too,
I love skateboarding.
yeah? So you skate at that park in Coral Springs too?
Yeah, Betty Stradling.
Yeah, the Betty Stradlin one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how often do you skate? I mean, you started that at a young age too, or just
Yeah,
surfing
so-
just influenced you to start skating too?
No, so again, my dad introduced me to surfing and skateboarding simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd always go there, and for example, I have airs on my skateboarding. I try and put that into my surfing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I'm trying to work on. And skateboarding for me is very similar to surfing, but also has its differences.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really fun sport that I love to do. It's always so fluent, because if you have that right speed, you're always going into the turn right, sort of like surfing. It's
Mhm.
fluent in a way.
Right, you get that momentum and you
Yeah.
get that leverage and that power into your turns yeah. I used to do that too. I used to kind of practice whenever I would skateboard when I was a kid, I'd never really do a lot of kick flips and stuff like that, like for a street and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
always just kind of try to carve on the board.
Now
you
they
know,
got
whenever I
surf skates
could.
and stuff like that. Surf skates,
Yeah.
carvers.
Yep.
Like
Yeah, there's all different
stuff.
kinds
true.
of situations now. Back then I was just doing it on my
Try-
lake.
A piece of
yeah.
wood with some
Yeah,
wheels
trying-
that you found.
Yeah, right.
Trying to do some power slides to act like it's a layback.
Yeah, like Christian Hosoi, and I tried to do everything on it, but yeah, that's cool. Actually, working at BC, it's funny. You saw the evolution of skateboards change while I was working there.
I
I'm
bet.
dating myself, but now they have them as retro boards. Those are the ones that are shaped more like that. Those are the boards that we all had growing up.
Yeah.
The one
Like
with the nose and then the weird tail.
Yeah, the Pal Peraltas and the Tony Hawks, the old school ones, and
Tony
all
Hawk.
those. Yeah,
Tony Hawk.
yeah, those are my skateboards. So, you
Cool.
guys are up there, Fort Pierce now,
Yeah, we're up there.
right?
Yep.
And you're liking it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
We're staying.
yeah, staying.
Yeah.
I bet you. Yeah, I get jealous about it sometimes.
Actually,
getting
wait,
so
I should
crowded
say,
down here.
actually, it really sucks. And
It's
everybody
horrible, right?
should
Yeah.
Not come
Everyone
here.
stay
No.
here.
I
Traffic
wish I
is-
lived in Pompano Beach.
Everyone's
Yeah.
Pompano's the best.
Again.
Stay in Pompano.
Yeah. How often are you surfing? Are you doing it every
time
weekend, or
Every time there's a swell or a little wave that pops up,
you
anything.
just charge?
Honestly, anything that I can get to go and practice, to do better, to evolve my surfing, anything that I can get.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not surfing, then I'm either training in the gym or I am skating.
Okay, does it leave you a lot of time for school?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm always thinking about school, honestly.
Yeah, nice. All right,
That's
cool.
what I was going to ask too. So, what else do you do that's non-surfing or skating related?
I honestly enjoy painting too.
You do?
I do.
What? We're in the midst of another artist, a fellow artist.
I like painting waves and whales. Waves and whales.
Waves and whales.
Waves and whales.
In Coral Springs.
And
Yeah,
Christmas.
that's cool. No, waves and whales.
I
That's.
gotta see. I want to see.
Yeah,
something.
you gotta
Okay.
you gotta show some.
Yeah.
You gotta show some of your work.
Okay.
Yeah, just we'll send us some pictures, and Justin
Oh,
can
yeah.
pop them up into the video.
Yeah, I always have them in my room. I hang them in my room, and anytime I'm, feeling for it or having that little inspiration in my mind, I'll be like, oh, I can make this something nice. And then I'll always put pieces together during the drawing. It's
Right.
not like I'll have a set piece and then I'll go again and do it. It's like I'll come up with it as I go.
Yeah, nice. And what are you painting? Are you drawing?
Painting.
Yeah?
Painting and then, just painting.
You like watercolors or acrylics or?
Acrylics.
Yeah?
Yeah.
On canvas?
Yeah.
Oh, you're creating pieces. You're creating pieces.
That's
nice.
awesome.
It's fun, yeah. And then I sketch during class when I'm bored and I'm like, we got a break. Or we got a break.
She's so inspiring.
I know.
You live with passion. Don't ever give that up.
It's
I
awesome.
won't.
Yeah, that's insane. That's good stuff. Absolutely. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I always love meeting someone on the podcast for the first time. Like, it's like, because then it's like, some of the best conversations happen, like, for the first time. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah, that's true.
and I'll have like a conversation with someone for the first time, and I'm like, "Oh, we got to do a podcast." And I always think afterwards, like, "I wish I had that conversation, that conversation, like
Recording,
rolling, yeah, recording, exactly."
It's me on waves. It's like I got one wave, and my dad looks around. He's like, "Where? You got one?
Yeah,
We need to do that again."
yeah, nice. So we generally have a segment on our show called the Papa's PLR Strange Questions, right?
Dun,
But-
dun, dun.
Right, dun dun dun. But what we didn't do is a lot of times we'll push that out to social media and say, "Hey, I got strange questions" and everything like that, right? But I do that for the old fishermen because then all their buddies come in and they ask them all these questions. Like Rory always asks funny questions to these guys and puts them, things like that.
Some
So
pressure on people and
Right.
weird questions.
right. So I know Justin's asked a few questions today and everything like that, but I want to see if Rory had maybe a question to ask you, right? That it might be some input for the show. So if you have any, or even if your mom has a question to ask you, any question. What's your favorite food?
Ooh, can it be a restaurant?
It can be a restaurant.
Okay, so
You can even say Papa's
personally-
Robber if you want, but
So, I honestly love steak and grilled food and Chipotle.
oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Steak,
That's a
grilled
good
food,
one.
and Chipotle.
Chipotle.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Got
come on.
that-
I mean, what surfer doesn't like Mexican food?
Exactly,
Really?
it's
Yeah.
delicious.
It
You
just
got the beans,
goes.
right?
It just goes,
Something
right?
about it.
You come out of the water, you're all salty.
Like I can eat that every day. I think,
So can I, honestly.
right?
Yep.
Cheese.
Yep.
That's all I'm craving for when I'm when I'm surfing. I'm like, I should get this, and I'm like thinking about my order pre ahead.
Yeah.
Do you eat before you surf? Like I remember before triathlons, I can't eat, and things like that.
I'd say like 30 minutes before I eat, so it at least has time
What do you
Yeah.
What are you normally trying to get to fuel you?
to fuel me.
Do you what's your what do you eat before competition?
Before competition, I mainly stick to like granola or fruits, and my mom makes some nice sandwiches that I like to eat before contest.
Cool.
Nice. Mom, do you have a question to ask here? You probably know all the answers, but I don't know. It's a
When I'm
good question. That's
surfing.
actually a good question, right? Like when
Connection.
you're out on the water,
Yeah.
where's your head?
Connection.
Like, what are you thinking? What do you feel? What are you feeling like?
My head, again, is always putting pressure on myself. So I'm thinking, how can I do this turn better?
All right.
What should I try an air? What can I do right now? And then I'm thinking about what bomb I can do. How can I potentially snake people?
But like, how does like if you were just out there and for like a soul session, like
You get like moments of clarity.
no more competition. Like, how does the
No more
ocean or
competition.
surfing make you feel? Like, what do you feel like?
Honestly, it makes me feel free. It's like these moments come to me in my mind, happy moments, sad moments, all these little memories in my mind coming back to me in the water when I'm having that soul session.
Mm-hmm.
All these nice memories coming in my head.
Yeah, nice. Gives you
Honestly.
give you a little space out there, get some time to think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not like I'm
that's
going to go
awesome.
sit in a room and be like, I'm thinking about this. It's like in surfing, that's when all this kind of clarity comes to me.
I always talk about like I paint fish for a living, right? But I'm a business owner ultimately, and that has its own challenges to it, right? So one of those challenges is even though I paint fish for a living, one would think, oh, he's out fishing all the time. It's not the case, right? But because I got to run the show around here.
Yeah.
So there's periods of time now, like when I was younger, I used to fish and surf like every day, all the time, nonstop, right? But as you get older and you want to build a life out of this, sometimes you got to make certain sacrifices. So I know that now I cherish every time I get to paddle out or I get to go out on the boat and get to go fishing, because I look at those as like clean slate moments, like reboot, refresh kind of moments, right? And I'll come back into the studio with a new perspective and a new understanding of, oh yeah, that's why I do it. You know, because when you can connect your passion together, right? So
Yeah,
I
brings
guess,
you back some.
yeah. So what I'm kind of getting at is, you know, remember that as you start building this as a professional life, right? To never stop the fun of it.
I won't.
I know, right? But really, it can happen.
Yeah.
And you can burn out, or you can like get so into
Those rough
achieving your
patches,
goals.
yeah.
You can get so into achieving your goals that it's easy to maybe lose sight sometimes.
Life will get in the way. Life will get complicated. But
It's
if
always
you-
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ready
Like
for you to
just
slip
go
up.
out and be like, I'm having a soul session. I don't care what happens.
Yeah.
And
Right.
laugh and splash and
I always
know.
have those fun sessions when I'm out with my dad or with my friends.
yeah, exactly.
Cherishing the waves, but also having fun and laughing at them.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're not as good as you.
I laugh at Rory all the time when we surf together.
No, like
I
sometimes.
can see that. I can
Sometimes
see
I'll go on a wave with my friends and we'll like push each other off or like see, who can jump on each other's boards or like do a tandem together.
Yeah,
Or
that's
me and my
fun.
dad will have like a party wave. I'll go hit one, come back, and he'll come. And those
Yeah.
are the fun waves that I really enjoy with him.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's
Are-
the best part.
Are
Yeah.
there waves that you absolutely remember were just some of the best that you know, like even at your age, that you can look back on and just, you know, epic? Yeah?
Seeing my dad get barreled in front of me.
Aw. That's cool.
Even though we're in Florida, he's always looking for some small barrels or anything to get into.
Yeah.
Little tow barrels.
Yeah.
Weep.
Yeah,
Are there
nice.
waves at some of these different locations you've surfed around the world already that you think are just, you know, just perfect and you can't wait to go back to them? Or
Honestly, Peru.
Peru?
I love
San
Peru.
Bartolo. And next time my dad's going to take me, he's going to take me to some heavier spots like probably chicamas or senoritas.
Chicama
Chicamas.
or
I think-
chicamas? Is that different?
I think so. I don't know.
Is it?
I love chicama. I don't know if I've ever been to chicamas with the S. Though.
Yeah.
I wonder
I-
if they're the same.
Why am I'm drawing a blank on the name of the place in Peru where everyone goes. What's it?
Chicama.
No,
Lima?
No. Isn't what the
The
place?
longest left?
No, it's not a surf spot. It's some tourist
Oh.
destination.
Oh, Machu
bucket-
Picchu.
Machu Picchu.
Oh,
Yeah. Have you
okay.
been there?
I
Yeah,
don't want to talk
no.
about that.
No, you haven't gone.
Nah.
No, every time you go there, you just go to surf.
Surf.
We
And
had the
grandparents.
most epic trip planned last year. A week, and I still have to do it because I have already everything booked. But a week hiking Machu Picchu and a week surfing Chicama.
Yeah,
A group of us.
you got to get on that trip.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, I'm booking the tickets. When are you
Let's
going?
go.
Let's go. I'm down right now.
2022.
I'm down. I don't got anything planned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So what are some of the largest waves that you've surfed at this age?
Largest waves? I'd say like 8 foot.
8-footers?
9. I think so, yeah.
Where
on
was
those
that?
on those big hurricane swells.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of surprising to hear this, but at Palmetto Boca Pavilion, on those hurricane swells, it can get really big there, and that's where I surf those big ones. And also Fort Pierce on a good swell. On those good swells, I feel like it's trestles because you got
Yeah.
uppers, middles, and lowers.
That's true.
Have you ever
actually.
fished? Have you ever surfed California?
California, no.
No, right?
But that's where Nationals is, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you
so it's
gotta
gonna be my
get there.
first time. First time.
So
Gotta
we're doing
get there.
some ice bath training to get used to the cooler
Yeah,
water.
Seriously?
I've been doing that.
So wait, are you surfing at nationals?
Yeah,
Yeah. When
Yeah.
is this?
that's in they don't have a set date, but it's in October.
In October.
In October.
So that's on the calendar.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Cool.
And then you got Easterns in
You're going to
September.
nationals.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah. Look at that, throwing it down. Nice.
It's going to be exciting. My first time there, honestly.
Oh, I'm so stoked for
So
you.
this time from NSSA, it was my first regionals, and it was super cool to win it my first time. And then now it's going to be my first time in nationals. So.
Yeah. Well, I guess you don't get named ESA's athlete of the year, and them not send you to nationals. I guess that's the next place to go, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
so excited.
Yeah, you should be.
I'm trying to learn airs because I know a lot of the girls there are doing some, but they score air reverses high for that too. Not saying that they're the highest thing that you can do in surfing because a bunch of hard turns can get you a 10, honestly. But I think that progression in girls surfing for doing airs is a something I really want to do.
Yeah, well, you
Yeah.
just keep working hard and you keep listening
Yeah.
to her,
I will.
right? And she'll guide you in the right direction. Listen, I got to tell you, you are really, 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 really lucky to have someone like her in your life.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that's the truth.
Thank you.
I mean, that this is, I can't think of a better influence for you to have than her
Oh.
right now.
I met her and she was such a nice
Yeah,
person.
and
She
Rory
is.
too, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Rory.
100%.
They're honestly like family to this point.
Yeah.
They're so nice.
And I know that like you got a heart of gold, and then your intentions with her are just the best, and
Yeah.
and she's going to guide you. She's going to really like to be your spirit guide and all this. So pay attention,
I
right,
will.
to what
I
she's
will.
got to say. And I know you do. But
I'm taking note of every little thing.
yeah, you should just absorb it, because there's, I'm sure, a lot of kids that are growing up, and whether it's surfing or even any sport, basketball, baseball, or whatever like that, that don't have a mentor
Coaches or
like
mentors.
that. Yeah. So that's really great. That's really great. And you say you got a surf coach too?
Yeah, I have a couple.
You got a couple?
So I have Darlene Lopez,
Mhm.
and then I have another coach that was actually accepted to me through the ESA All Stars. So I got accepted to the ESA All Stars, which is Eastern Surfing Association All Stars. So the whole East Coast of the U.S., they have an all-star team. So the coach there is Surf Coach Modes, and I'm always sending him videos, and we'll like FaceTime, and we'll review how could I have done this better, or the technique I need to practice for it. And then I go up to Fort Pierce to train with Michelle Flores.
Very cool.
Whole
Very
team.
cool. So all of the entire, how many people are on this all-star team?
I don't
All
know.
different age groups, maybe? Or
Yeah,
is it
they're
just,
different age groups, but it's all the all-stars.
yeah. Oh, wow. Congrats on that. Man,
Thank
you've
you.
already accomplished so
I
much
know,
at
right?
such a young age.
Thank you.
Man, this is outstanding. So you're going to nationals,
Yeah.
right? And then you've already accomplished so many great things here at the young age. You're surfing against 16-year-olds or is it under 16
Yeah, it's
category,
under
and
16.
you won the ESA's. Was it Athlete of the Year or was it
Female.
Athlete of the Year? Right, and then you just won the regionals.
My first title is
Your first title.
NSSA.
And she got a chair ride.
Oh,
Oh,
I
yeah?
was dying for one. I saw Sierra Kerr get chaired on Instagram, and I was like, I want that. I wrote my name in the sand. I was like, Sofia Gamboa.
Wow, man,
I was
you
like-
are just laser focused.
I was like, Supergirl's first, Sofia Gamboa. And I wanted to get chaired. I wanted to get my first title. I'm very hungry. Ever since Easterns, because I made it to my finals, and then I was in first the whole time, and then I got an interference. And I was
Oh,
like,
you did?
I was like, and I was in first the whole time, exactly. And I was like, having it that close, I know what I can achieve now. Because before, I never thought that I could beat some people from Central Florida or from even North, because I thought I was just a small competitor. And then seeing that through the eyes of Easterns and making it to that finals against everybody from the East Coast was a real eye-opener for me, and it inspired me to do a lot.
Eye-opener is the right term,
Yeah.
because it's a really cool thing when you just, because I always compare everything to painting, because that's what I can relate to, right? So I always draw these parallels. It's like when you're so focused on your craft and you just want to keep improving, keep getting better, keep improving, keep getting better, make the last one better than, or the next one better than the last one. And then when you look up from the board, right? I got my board, you got your board. And you look around and you start realizing, like, oh, wow.
I did this?
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I
Yeah.
did this, or it's just like, oh, it's me?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's an eye-opening feeling, but it's, it's, man, what's the word I'm really searching for? I don't want to say it's liberating, but, it's kind of a
It's
good
like
feeling of
empowering
accomplishment.
or
Yeah, it's
something.
empowering.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's empowering.
It's a
And then-
confidence boost for me.
Yeah.
It's like I just hit that button and it just went off. I was like, wow, that happened? I did that myself, me?
Yeah. And nobody's going to know all the hard work that went into it other than you.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
You like
Wow.
that iceberg photo. You know,
Yeah.
when you see the iceberg where,
Yep.
like, the tip of the iceberg, have you seen that? I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
It's like an iceberg that, sticks up like a,
Mhm.
we're not familiar with ice here in Florida, but whatever. Iceberg. And then here's the tip. But then underneath is like this giant piece of ice, like really deep. So it
Yeah.
says that that's all the hard work, and all you see is like this little tip, right? So like when
Yeah.
you're at the
Right.
top, that's all everybody sees, but they don't see the hard work that
the hard work put
is
into
below
it
the
before.
water. Yep.
Yeah, I'm always
So-
going to the gym by myself, and then I win this title. My dad's like, "You did this yourself?" And I'm like, "Well, you should have seen the hard work I've done." And it's like I'm replaying all these workout moments in my head, like the strength and hard work that
Yeah.
was hard to do it.
Yeah, it
But
takes
now
a lot.
I'm enduring it with that perseverance.
Yeah.
And it's really nice.
And you're seeing all that hard work pay off. Which
Yeah,
is
exactly.
Nice, you know?
Which is regionals.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
But now we
Awesome.
keep the work going.
Right. Now you keep the work going.
Yeah.
You don't stop, right? And
Yeah.
just like
Don't
this
stop
one
the
too.
music.
Same
But
thing
the
with
one
you.
thing I can say is, whenever you accomplish something good, take the time, whether it be a day, an hour, whatever, to like relish in that moment.
Yeah.
Oh, I did.
Because sometimes and that's good, because sometimes you can be so focused that you don't even enjoy it. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, what's next? You know, so.
That was kind of my
but
feeling.
it's good. Hey, you're doing that. That's awesome. You got your chair ride. You wrote your name in the sand. So
I know.
keep doing that. Because.
That regionals was awesome because I got sponsored by Roxy a couple of days before, and I was like,
Do they know something?
and it was awesome
Ooh, you were
because
stoked too.
I know it because it was like I'm
That's
having
good
this big
timing.
brand, and then it was like that timing. It's like, okay, you can't lose now.
Mm-hmm.
You really can't expect to do that kind of stuff. And I'm putting that feeling in my head. I'm like, you have Roxy. These people believe in you, and then that confidence I'm going into that heat with. I'm throwing away that other heat that I did bad on, and I'm like trying to focus myself in the next heat. And then I came out winning.
Yeah.
And I was like, I did this. And then I had all my friends who supported me. And I was looking back through the Instagram posts. And I had everybody that I love and cherish there that has always been through me, with supporting me in my surfing, is always there.
That's so cool.
Amazing.
Just right next to me.
Amazing. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, but that's amazing. I always get scared with that. Like, don't
Don't put too much pressure.
put
That's
too much
awesome.
pressure. Always love it.
I do.
right? Yeah.
And it was like the best feeling.
Do it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was my friends holding me up. And it was
She got that right. We'll have to send you the photo.
It
Yeah,
was-
yeah, definitely.
my first chair, my first title, and it was the best moment of my life I could ever have in my surfing career. Well,
That's awesome.
right now.
So far.
So far.
So far.
So far.
The first
So
one
far.
of many, I'm sure.
Yep,
Of many.
yep. First one of many. Wow, you're outstanding.
Thank you.
Right? Yeah, for sure. You also have accomplished so many things, right? I want to focus on a few of those things here because we've been
Please do.
right
No, that's
talking
okay.
a lot
We
of
came for you.
But
No, we need to
can't-
focus on you.
right. We need a little focus on her right now, right?
Do it.
Oh, no.
So you just also competed in something else. Was it that the Fort?
Oh.
Wait, no, it was. What else? Take me
That
through what that was.
skateboard thing.
Yeah. So this one, around the
Wait,
homestead,
can we take that
thing.
again? Oh, yeah, that skateboard thing.
right?
Oh.
How did you get into that?
That was cool.
You know, it's like you do one ultra endurance
Like
thing.
no, like I'm like just on like Instagram one day and I see like
I know, right?
him
yeah,
like filming
yeah.
you. Like I'm like what are you getting into now?
It looked like a paddleboard.
Sends her a skateboard.
The what?
The company sends her a skateboard.
Yeah,
I already knew where it was going.
yeah.
Don't do it.
She did it.
No, so,
Sent another skateboard.
well, okay.
They're looking at you.
So it's like if you do one ultra endurance thing, all of a sudden everybody thinks you want to do like 100 miles and everything.
Right, right. That's all I could think of. I see you were doing this
And
thing
I'm
around a
thinking,
racetrack,
I
and I'm like,
didn't want-
what are you doing now?
I only
thought it
wanted
was
to do
NASCAR.
something 100 miles once, and I did it. So anyway, but so the company was like, would you think about doing this? And I'm like, I don't think so. I mean, that takes a lot of training and
Yeah,
mindset. I don't feel like it right now. Like,
and it's like
ultra
upper
training.
body and
Yeah, and, like, I
paddling.
already-
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked
like-
like a paddleboard.
Yeah,
like
right?
I already injured myself with my paddle, with my nerves and my hands and stuff. So I was like, I kind of don't want to do that anymore. And so, but anyway, he's like, well, I'll send you the boards and just try them.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, fine. And he did, and I liked them.
And you fell in love.
I like the boards, and they're a little expensive. And I'm
Love
like,
at first sight.
I can't really afford these boards, but I really don't want to give it back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just do this as like my way to pay for them. But then he kept sending me boards and more boards and more boards, and I'm like, oh man. And so I did it. Well, so basically it's around Miami Speedway. It's called Ultra Skate, and they go on these. So he wants to take, it's a land paddle.
Okay.
So this company, Hamboards, they make really cool surf skates,
Right.
but they're trying to like translate it over to paddle boarders now, because it is kind of like, you know, it's fun for paddlers.
Like
It could
land
be.
training?
Like
or-
when you can't go and
Yeah.
kind of like land training, and it is fun.
I think I've seen those boards in my neighborhood. I've seen a couple guys
Yeah.
riding by them.
So they're pretty cool. I mean, I can go like 15 miles an hour on them, and you can do all sorts of fun. I mean, they are really fun. So he was like, let's maybe people in paddling want to like try these boards out and stuff, so you can show them. I'm like, okay. But yeah, so this ultra skates around Miami Homestead Speedway, which was cool.
How many times did you have to go around?
I did 100 miles and I stopped.
Oh my god!
And that was like 50.
I would have stopped at the first one.
Rory,
60.
she's an animal. 100 miles?
I
Oh,
did
yeah.
I did it in. It's a 24-hour skate. Like you're supposed to skate for 24 hours.
Wait, you are?
Yeah.
24 hours.
I did.
What happened to lunch?
I don't know, 15 hours or however long it took. 15 hours, I think, to get to 100 miles.
Yeah, that's a
and
good
I
question. What
stopped.
happened to lunch?
Yeah, exactly.
I ate. No, it's different though. It's not. You could stop and take breaks and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. They wanted me to make some record, but the girl who holds the record was there, and it was just interesting. So
What
I
was
got
the
Giving you
record?
the evil eye?
for a bit. Yeah.
She was, right?
She was like looking at the corner eyes.
And then
Doing it?
I was like, this isn't my sport. I'm not here to. I didn't want to get injured, and I did. I flared up my nerves again, but I did the 100 miles that I said I would do because I didn't want to, not.
Keep
And
your
I
word.
left after 15 hours. I just said, no, I'm out. We tried to sleep in the car to stay for the morning, but we couldn't. I was so.
Wait, what was the record?
She did 100 miles was the record,
And you did 100.
and I did.
Oh, really?
I just did over her record, but she was there, and she was not wanting me to win.
So did
beat
she
her
beat-
record?
so she beat
she
her?
kept going.
She
That's
broke her
thing,
record
right?
again?
That would be like somebody trying to paddle against me in the water who never paddled before.
we should have done a tag team. I would have
I
helped
ain't
you
gonna
there.
let
Right.
them win, so she was not gonna let me win, and I don't do that. So they have technique where they wiggle, they pump,
Really?
but it looks like a wiggle. And
Just to
so-
loosen up the
No,
muscles?
to
and
keep going. So
Oh.
I was paddling with my arms for 15 hours, like 100 miles with my arms. I don't
Right.
know how to wiggle these boards. And
Learning how to
then,
pump on a
like, I
longboard.
would, at the end, he would, like, be staking out. I'm like, where is she at? Because I knew she was getting tired, real tired. She couldn't paddle anymore. No, keep going. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do 110 miles. And she won't be able to do the extra 10 because you're tired, right?
Then she started wiggling?
And then, she came by me with the paddle on her thing and was going. And I was like, she's not even paddling, and they go fast during doing that, and I couldn't. I'm like, so then I got to 100 miles, and I said, I'm out.
How does that work?
They just the way the trucks are, they're loose, and when
It's like a surf skate.
yeah,
sort of.
So you can pump a certain way. It's not like a surf pump. It's like the wheels never lift off the ground, but you can pump it,
Yeah?
and it
A hip
keeps the
thrust.
speed going, and it goes faster than when you're actually paddling
What
because
such
you're
things
using your
exist?
legs.
So let me ask you, though. But you broke
I
her
was-
record that day, though?
I broke her previous record, but she was there and she kept going.
So she re-broke it because of
Oh
you.
yeah, she did 24 hours.
Oh, you should have
Look at Rory.
sabotaged the
Look at
board.
Rory's over there, like, all proud, like, yep.
But
Yeah,
in,
she did
in
that.
my head,
So-
I paddled the
so
whole 100
that's-
miles.
so-
I paddled my arms. The whole
I'm so
100
glad you
miles.
told this story. I'm so glad you told this story because this explains to people
So much.
so much
Yeah.
about you. It really does. Like, I mean,
She never goes back on her word.
no,
Does she? No, she
no,
doesn't.
and she's an animal too. Like she's just
Don't just realize
Literally,
that.
like
Yeah.
100 miles. They're like, there's 100 miles in the board. I skateboarded all the way to my car. I got out of my clothes. I'm like, I'm done.
I would have fell asleep in the car, did you?
No, I couldn't. I was very uncomfortable.
I
My
swear.
hands.
Would you do it again? You're done.
Hey, we should have done a
So-
tag team on
so
that.
so
I have
Tag team.
officially
the one and
retired
only
from-
time she does it, she breaks the record, and the girl is there and feels the
yeah.
need
She
to
should've
re-break the
sabotaged
record
the
because
board.
I'm like, why didn't she just want to bring her here and break the record? But I got some cool skateboards now.
I think she should
They're a
have
great
sabotaged the
company.
board.
They're called Handboards.
handboards. I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to get
fun.
one.
They are fun.
I'm gonna have to get one.
So-
Can I pull my dog? Can my dog pull me on one
Yeah,
of those?
you can go fast.
That'd
Because
cool.
my
They're
my
pretty
dog
neat.
pulls me on my Sector 9 all the time. I let her. That's how I
have-
let her run.
I do that with my brother. I like skate on. We have a longboard. He'll sit on the top, and then I'm like holding onto him and paddle, and we're all
Yeah.
going around the neighborhood. And
That's
these people
awesome.
looking at us like, what are they doing? I'm like, we're just being us, weird and abnormal.
Yeah.
The deck has this thing where they carved it out, so you don't bite ever.
Oh, really?
So you can keep the wheels on the ground and like literally just stand on your toes or your heels, and like the wheels don't pick up off the ground,
Mhm.
and you can turn that sharp, and you won't bite the wheels.
Oh, that's
so
good.
you can really just turn. Like,
yeah, you can really carve on that.
big
Yeah.
time. And with the paddle, it's cool because you can then really turn,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you're practicing, and you can have it to lean on, so you don't always fall.
Is that paddle like
You know?
a reassurance thing?
Yeah,
when you're
so it's like an extra, like if you see paddle surfers, how they like dig it in the wave. and
Yeah,
they
it's
can
like a
just go
turn,
shh,
sort of.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah,
It's
because
pretty cool.
I tried on a longboard to turn, and I fell flat on my face because I'm not used to like how.
Slow turning.
Yeah, exactly.
That's me.
Yeah, I got.
I tried a shortboard. I stepped right off the back. I'm used to having 9 feet. I stand up. I'm like, there's no board.
That happened to me. I have an Almeric Wave Hog, right? And that the first time, it's like for me, I'm always like a 6.0. That's what I would always ride, and this thing is like 7.8. And I remember the first time I took that out and I tried to turn on. I was like, boop, right in
It
the
doesn't
water.
go anywhere.
No, not at all.
Doesn't.
No, that's
Right.
cool. I gotta get me one of those ham boards.
Yeah, they're really
Gotta
cool.
get me one of them ham boards.
I'll send
Ham
you
boards.
some info. They're neat. They got a lot of boards.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Gotta check them
Yeah,
out.
that was it. So that was that. That was just something.
And the funny thing is when when my dog pulls me on my Sector 9, she's half greyhound, so she
Oh my
flies.
gosh.
Oh man, she's half greyhound, half pit bull, so she's
Yikes.
strong and fast.
Ooh.
Yeah, we fly down the street. Like
That's
the first
crazy.
time I did it,
Oh
my
God.
wife yelled at me. Like she's like, "You're too old for
You're
this." I'm like,
gonna-
"What are you gonna? You're gonna kill yourself?"
Yeah.
Like that. I'm like going down the
That's
street like
scary.
30 miles an hour on a skateboard.
Dog power instead of horsepower.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I can paddle 15 miles an hour on those things. Your dog's going to make you
Oh,
go
man.
like,
Yeah, dude, like,
45.
I remember the first time I did it with her. I was just like,
oh my God.
man, I better not eat it.
That's
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, be road rash.
Oh,
Oh.
God.
Yeah,
No.
for sure.
Eee.
Nationals.
Yes.
So what's in between now and then?
Training.
Training.
Training,
yeah, exactly.
right?
Training.
You're out of
Training.
season,
I'm off season, so I need to train
Mm-hmm.
hard.
Right.
Hard.
you gonna take a trip to California before you go? You think just to get a
No,
lay of the
Costa Rica.
land?
Costa Rica.
Oh, it's in Costa Rica.
No,
No,
she's
no, no.
gonna,
That's my
Oh,
practice.
that's your. Oh, you're okay.
Yeah. So we're going there for 10 days, and it's going to be a real fun experience.
Yeah, I bet it is.
So that's going to be my practice, and then
I
from
love
then
Costa
and there.
Rica.
Yeah? You've
Yeah.
been?
Yep.
My dad
Absolutely.
traveled from Peru to Florida, and then he had to ship his car from the other half.
Hmm.
But
That's cool.
yeah, he did that whole entire drive through Central
Wow.
America.
Wow,
Hmm.
that's cool.
I
Yeah,
was like,
that's
you should have
neat.
taken me. I should have been born a couple years earlier.
Oh.
I think you're doing just fine. Definitely. All right, so Nationals is in October,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Easterns in September.
Easterns is
September.
all right. So the
So
Easterns is
training-
first before the Nationals.
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't have to get through that to go to there, right?
No, Easterns is ESA, so they don't have like an. I don't
It's
think they have a national thing.
No affiliation.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Easterns is Eastern Surfing Association.
Mm-hmm.
NSSA is National Scholastic Surfing Association.
Yeah.
A
All
lot of
right.
adjectives.
So 4 months to train. A little bit to
Hard
taper off.
train.
Yeah. You gonna take it to them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to
Oh,
represent
yeah.
the East Coast.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Need some better news from South
Where is
Florida.
it at? We're in
Huntington.
Oh, okay. Oh, fun.
Never been,
Hmm.
but a friend told me it was something like a pier that I've been to.
Yep.
Mhm.
Sure is.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not too cold actually in Huntington.
I don't think so. But I'm gonna get
Especially in
hooked up with some-
October. The water's still pretty warm.
I think I'm gonna get hooked up with some wetsuits even though.
Yeah. No, yeah, wear a wetsuit, but
Yeah, I got.
it's
Yeah, Roxy sending me some nice
Yeah.
stuff, some nice wetsuits. And I'm
Nice.
like, yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Nice.
And they make the wetsuits these days like real nice.
Yeah, like they have
Yeah.
that like new thermal thing. And
Mhm.
I had a 4.3. I just bought a new one,
Mm-hmm.
and it had like this cool thermal condition in it. And I
Mhm.
saw my other friends. It was like super stretchy, but also keep you super warm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They are like real flexible now.
Yeah.
Especially the front zips.
Yeah. I have the back
They're
zip
nice.
though. I have the back zip.
Yeah,
That's
they're,
always
they're
the
easier
problem
to
I
get in.
Yeah, true.
So I used to hate
Right.
wetsuits.
Yeah?
Well, I mean, back when I was surfing a lot, it
Like a
wasn't.
penguin
Yeah, it
suit.
wasn't like that. It was.
I
yeah.
like wetsuits because I'm
They have to
so
go like,
They have metal
you
arms.
can't
No.
you can't move in them. No, so I went to BSR this one time, and it was freezing. I think it was below 50,
Mhm.
40.
where?
BSR, Texas.
Oh.
We went to the
Yeah,
wave
it's
pool.
always cold there.
I did not know that.
Oh, God.
I went in.
That's cold.
Yeah, Texas gets cold.
Yeah, so we had to delay the trip a couple times, and then I went in there with like a 3-2
Mm-hmm.
or. Yeah, a 3-2 or a 2-2.
Hmm.
I was freezing so hard, freezing my ass off. It was cold. It was cold.
It is cold.
Yeah, I don't do well with the cold.
And my other friends
really
went
don't.
a 4-3. I'm like, you're complaining. I wish I had your wetsuit on right now.
Give me more water. I gotta pee.
Yeah, right, exactly.
We were like waiting, we were like chugging like,
Everybody's
gallons
like,
of water, chugging gallons of water just to stay warm.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we like tried to go into the pool between sessions,
Yep.
and then we like put our
Oh.
wetsuit like things under the jet, and we fill up and inflate with some warm water. I'm like, this is life.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a good
idea.
trick. That's a good
Yeah.
trick. That's a good trick. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, and then it stretches out your wetsuit, so you got a couple more years in it.
What are you trying to say?
Yeah.
You need to stretch it out?
No. I'm saying I'm a cheapo, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. All right, cool. Me too.
That works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine. Yeah.
I think that would
You
be
don't
so
know
cool.
you need a new wetsuit till you get one. You're like, oh gosh, I guess my last one was
Yeah, right.
old and
Yeah, I'm
didn't
getting
work.
a new. I'm like, I'm getting 2 new spring suits. It's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
We got like the new Roxy Pop Surf,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm so excited for it to get here.
Yeah,
It's coming in
nice.
like a couple days. It's so anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Waiting for the
And
guy
now
at
it's
the door.
summertime.
I know exactly.
Why is Sophia out there in that full suit right now? It's hot.
I know. I'm just weird like that.
Oh, it's all good.
That's
It's
good.
all good. You're not weird.
I'm
You
just
just
happy.
know what you want,
I'm just
Yeah.
different.
right? Exactly. I think it would be so cool that if a girl from Coral Springs wins nationals,
Right?
right?
You already had one from Coco win a couple
Yeah.
times. I want to be the next one up.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice. Awesome. Well, we're going to be following you
Yeah.
every step of the way.
Thank you.
All right. And I'm so happy that you came in to visit us today.
I'm so excited
Right.
to be here. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is like an amazing experience for me.
I am.
I'm always listening to
Yeah?
podcasts. It's amazing.
So this is your
Speechless.
first ever podcast,
Yeah.
right?
I'm speechless right now.
So
Made
listen,
her speechless.
the name of our show is Connected by Water,
Yes.
right? I kind of like the name. Right?
Kind of.
Do you like the name?
I love it.
Right. So what does Connected by Water mean to you?
Connected by water.
I always, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I always want to, because we have theories on Connected by Water, but it's, to me, it's an ever expanding thought, right? So it's always like, so I
Funny that
want to
you
get
say
your
that.
perspective.
My-
What do you, what does Connected by Water mean to you?
That it was kind of funny that you said it was connected by everything, because when I first heard of that name, I thought it was everybody connecting in, searching in, coming into the podcast, everybody tuning in from different countries, maybe even connected by water. It's all of us that are water fishermen, surfers, bodyboarders, paddlers, anything, but we're all connected by that one thing, that's the ocean.
Love it.
Right on point.
Love it.
Awesome.
Great answer. I am thoroughly impressed with you, young lady.
Why, thank you.
Yeah. And we wish you nothing but the best in
Thank
this
you so
life
much.
and in these next few months as you hone in your focus on what you're trying to achieve and all your goals and everything like that. Don't ever stop being you, though.
I won't, thank you.
All right? Be true to yourself. All right? All right.
Be you.
We're
Fun
confident.
stuff.
We're confident. Listen, even if you don't win, we're proud of you. All right? But don't let me say that. All right? So if you want to win, you go for it and win.
Thanks.
Any nice parting words before we shut her
Thanks
down?
for having us.
Yeah?
Yeah,
You're
thank
awesome.
you.
No, thank you
First
for coming, Sydney.
experience, first time experience.
Yeah? You want to come in again sometime?
That's a
After
definite
she
yes.
wins that national title.
That's a definite yes.
Yeah, it's a definite yes?
It's a definite
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, we'll
Nice.
see you in October.
Yeah, see you
see you in
then.
October. Let's book it now.
Let's do it.
Awesome. Awesome. Well,
Cool.
thank you very much for bringing her in today.
Yeah.
We really appreciate that. And it was nice seeing your mug today, too. Right? We're going to have maybe a glass at the bar after this, right? So, all right, cool. I want to give a couple of shout-outs to our sponsors here today. First and foremost, we want to thank the fine crew at Joey Cardi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, all right, for keeping the lights on around here.
My dad loves his Ram.
Yep.
Oh my
It
god.
happens every time.
Yes.
I don't know. It just organically just happens. They keep bringing people on the
I'm
show
not
that are Ram
joking.
owners.
I'm not joking. My dad got this Ram. He's loving it, honestly.
Yeah?
He loves it.
It's the best truck ever,
Yeah,
isn't
he
it?
had a Jeep Chrysler.
Yeah.
Not trying to be like that, but
No,
he
that's
did.
all in the family there.
Yeah.
The Chrysler
so
Dodge
he,
Jeep
he
Ram.
had his Jeep Chrysler, and then he's like, I need a heavy duty truck because we're always having those boards in. So he got this Ram. It's like, I think 1500 midnight Ram. Sick.
Yeah.
So much space. You know the thing like
Checks in
folds
the
up?
mail.
I know, right?
It's so sick. I love it. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, I have a
so
Ram
spacious.
too.
It's so spacious.
It is so spacious. That's actually I have a Ram Rebel, right?
do?
And that's the thing that when people get in the back, right?
They're like, where do I put my stuff?
When we
Everywhere.
just had basketball practice this past weekend, and all my daughter's friends were like, "Oh, can we come over and come in the pool?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." Right. So they all jumped in the bed, and the first thing out of their mouth, like, "Oh my god, there's so much room in here." They kept saying it's like they all started like running around and jumping
My
around.
dad's like a neat freak with his car. Like
Yeah?
we had our Jeep, and he's like, "You can bring a grain of sand in my car. I swear, you're gonna be cleaning that thing till you're like 50."
That's what Rory said. too.
And
I
then
got sand
the
all
Ram-
over my truck.
No, the Ram came with like this like cleaner, so it had like a rag and then air freshener, glass cleaner, and then interior cleaner.
Okay.
And it's the best thing my dad ever like found in that car.
Really?
Yeah, he's such a neat freak with his car.
He'd ask
Honestly,
Joey for some of that.
Well, see, my
get that?
truck has rubber floor mats in it, and,
Oh.
and I'm good with that.
my
right?
dad has the
Yeah.
fabric one, and then my dad uses like we have like a little cooler sort of for like compartments. And my dad puts ice
Yeah,
in
and the
there.
floor?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got those too.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we put some
Really?
ice in there.
Yep.
We put some snacks, some drinks, and the
That's
best.
pretty cool. And
So
the
my
floor?
son, my
So you can open it and it drains.
Yeah.
So Sean, my son, 7 years old, whenever he gives people the tour of the truck, right, because it's his
That's all
truck,
I
right, that's the first thing he goes to. He goes, "Look, come here." He pulls up the rubber floor mats and these coolers. So on
We went
the
to a
one,
contest like that, and we're like, "You guys want something?"
yeah. So on the one side, he's always got his tools and his bungee cords and everything in it. They're his. Yeah, so when we got to bungee anything down in the truck, he's like, he does it. Yeah. Yeah.
Got it. He's
Yeah.
got
So,
That's funny.
so if anyone else is in the market for a new Ram truck,
it. Hit them up.
hit them up. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Call Joey. Call my buddy Dean, who's the salesman over there that always helps me out. I don't want to make any promises, but I'm pretty sure if you drop my name and say Connected by Water, you're going to get a better deal than most.
Good,
Right.
because I need a ProMaster. so
Yeah,
good.
you will.
Yeah? All right, we're going to go over there and talk to them then. Also, I want to thank Papa's Pilar Rum for always providing the fun, and they remind you never to be a spectator. And you, my friend, are not a spectator, so you
No, I'm not.
represent, right? You are definitely not a spectator. So Papa's Pilar is they're an amazing group to be involved with. They do a lot of good in the community. They do a lot of good for conservation in our local areas, especially down here in South Florida. So they're always involved with the tournaments, especially the release tournaments. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, for the race.
Nice,
Yeah.
awesome. So they definitely get involved in the community. So we're proud for them to be also a headline sponsor of our show. I want to give some other shout outs to Papa's Raw Bar, right? Who's our restaurant, one of our restaurant sponsors. So you can go order something off the Connected by Water sushi menu that they have over
Uh-oh.
there. Yeah, so
That's
they call it
cool.
the
They
Connected
got
by
a
Water
sushi-
sushi menu.
I'm hungry now.
Yeah, absolutely. And we also
I
have
want
Papa
JP roll.
Amigos. Right, Papa Amigos is just down the street here, and they're opening up also a Coconut Creek location,
Oh, cool.
right? And they have sushi tacos, which is like
Ooh.
revolutionary, right?
I'm hungry now.
Yes, they're
I'm
incredible.
going
Sushi
there.
tacos.
Yeah,
I need
sushi
the address.
tacos. Yeah,
Can we go there? I'm hungry.
right.
Wow.
So they're located. They got a food truck here at the Bailey Arts District while they're waiting for the restaurant to
Okay.
be built, and they're opening up a new location right there off Holmberg and 441,
Nice.
just on the edge of Parkland and Coconut Creek. Right. So, and also I want to give a couple other shout outs to ACR, the Science of Survival. Right. So if anyone out there, boaters out there, if you're riding around with an e-perb, turn around, go back to shore, get an e-perb, and then head out. Please
Or if you're-
don't ever leave without an e-perb.
If you're
right?
paddling from Cuba to Key West, you
Right.
maybe have a
Hint.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something.
right?
I did have one up
Yeah.
there. I had the little flashing light thing.
Yeah.
I didn't have an e-perb, though.
Yeah.
Oh.
There would have been a chance I might have fell, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Could have, but
Yeah.
you didn't.
Following Z. Following Z.
Do not fall. Do not fall.
And then I also want to give a other shout out to we are brand ambassador family members of both Olokai and Maui Gym, and we're really proud of that because to me we're just so proud of the Maui Gym family and the product that they offer. Best sunglasses in the world, in my opinion, and I can actually scientifically prove it. And Olokai, proud to be in both those ohanas, yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
I mean, Olokai speaks for itself, the best sandal company in the world.
Cool.
Incredible footwear, and just want to give them a quick shout out. So, anyone else I'm leaving out? Oh, we can say Connected by Water. You can shop on connectedbywater.com. How about that? Come check us out. Right? You need some custom work? Let us know.
I'm eyeing the straw hats.
Yeah, you like the straw hat?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
The
All right.
owner is pretty cool.
Yeah, he's all
Oh,
right.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know,
he's
man.
alright.
I hear he
okay.
he can be a little.
Yeah.
He has his days.
Those
You got to catch him on
artists.
the right day, I think. So, all right, cool. Are we good?
We're good.
We're good.
Awesome.
All right,
Thank you.
Sophia, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you
I'm
for having
incredibly
me.
honored to have you here.
I'm
Right.
honored to be here.
Are you really?
Yes.
All right. I'm not going to let you forget you said that when you're really, really famous and big
I
and the
won't.
best surfer in the world.
You have it recording, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? So, yeah, because I feel like we're in a moment right now where it's like, if I could have had, like, Kelly Slater in the room when he was 12.
And he comes back when he's older.
Right, and this is kind of what I'm feeling like right here. Like, I think you're going to be at that level one day as female
Thank you,
surfer,
honestly.
so-
That means a lot to me, those kind of
mean-
words.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you? Thank you very much.
Of course.
Thank you very
Thank
much. It's always a pleasure to see you, really.
Definitely.
And all right, we're good.
Cool.
All right, we're gonna hang out at the Pilar Bar for a little bit.
Oh, wait, we need to give our
Right.
outgoing
Yeah, what George Pavarello calls these my church announcements.
yes, the
right?
church announcements.
Don't ever forget, your ego is not your amigo.
No, it's
Right?
not.
Always do your best, and at the end of the day, just let God do the rest. Right? And don't ever forget that no matter where we are, no matter what we're doing, we're all connected by water.
Yes.
Thank you.